Hey, Professor Brase, how you doing? So the report that I conducted was on the COO and the president of the Minnesota Vikings, and his name is Mark Wilf. So I got in touch with him through his son, who I'm friends with, but I've never really had a conversation with his dad, and especially never had a conversation as to where he got today. So a brief background behind Mark Wilf. He grew up in Hillside, New Jersey, with his older brother Ziggy, who is the CEO of the Minnesota Vikings. He went to the Princeton University, was the radio talk show host for the football and basketball teams. So that's where he got his interest in sports. One of the most interesting parts behind it was he wanted to stay in sports, but obviously didn't have any idea that he'd be owning a professional franchise. So he went to NY Law School while he and his brother really mastered real estate. And by doing so, they created a company called Garden Homes Incorporated that instead of just renting out Manhattan apartments to tenants, they happened to just create beautiful neighborhoods in North Jersey for these families to live in and grow a home in a beautiful house that you can easily transport from New Jersey into New York City via train or a 30-minute car ride. So that's just his brief history on real estate. And in 2005, they happened to buy the Vikings because they made such a beautiful amount of profit off these real estate homes. And by buying the Vikings, they realized that it was a team that was not very successful for the past few seasons. Never won a Super Bowl. Along with, they really needed some new minds within the franchise. So they did a bunch of firing and a bunch of hiring. And he told me that one of the best things he's ever done was hire the GM, who happened to just draft Adrian Peterson. So Mark said he likes to take the credit for it and everything, but I'm sure it was a group decision in the war room, in which he told me they called that during the draft while they're in Radio City Hall in New York City. So I asked him exactly how they decided the Vikings, and he didn't exactly tell me that it was because they're a losing franchise. We want to turn them around. They saw it kind of as a beautiful real estate opportunity. If you didn't know that the Vikings had a very outdated stadium, in which that the snow happened to make the entire stadium cave in due to the fact that it was so out of date, they saw this as a huge profit down the road. He told me that they bought the franchise for $634 million, which is a lot of money, but to get their return on investment, they would probably see it coming over to maybe over $1 billion. And one of the main reasons how they did that was by building this new stadium that is coming in, and it is the nicest stadium in all the NFL by the time it's done in 2017, which is also hosting Super Bowl 52. So he told me that he and his brother were so interested in just really building this team up and up, and this is 10 years later. And now they're still a great franchise, but along with that, he told me many controversies come. He really told me that, do you know what it's like having a losing season and your entire product is just being booed? And this is supposed to be by loyal fans. He said that really took him to heart. So basically, he told me about all the planning that went behind it, his day-to-day operations, and I thought it was a really, really interesting job that one day I would absolutely love to have. And just to conduct this interview, I wrote about it. I just submitted it, so enjoy it. I really hope you like it. And Mark Wilf is a great guy. And go Vikings!